Tonight we Hairy Game Lords have been playing Spies. It's a print and play from No Box Games. What do we think? Find out! Alright, slightly Vinny James. So, Spies. It's just called Spies. Is a right game. It's not a roll and write, it's not a flip and write, it's a right game. And I think this is something that is really, really good about, I think, this new wave in gaming. It's so exciting because it is print and plays that don't take any effort to make or do anything like that. I've printed these off before I came to the game night. And yes, no expense spared. It's all in colour. Oh, someone's doing well.
You've not put the heating on this one.
No, we can't heat the house, but I've printed in colour.
At work.
No, this is not done at work, not done at work.
For legal reasons.
The idea of Spies is you have been dumped into... No, you've not been dumped. That's not what Spies do. We have snuck into an ambassador's house, mansion. There it is. Ooh. For the sake of... oh, wait. It says your mission. You've infiltrated an ambassador's mansion. Accomplish missions and sabotage your target's missions to score points. So, sitting around the table, you are trying to follow the person on your left. You're trying to figure out where they are. You're trying to figure out what they're wrecking up and what they're trying to accomplish as missions. But the person on your right is doing that to you as well. This game is so quick to learn. I learned it just before it came out. It's probably taken about 5 minutes to teach. 10 minutes because we're pretty slow. And at the end of the game, you've got this. So you choose any room to start in. So my starting room was the bathroom because reasons. And you put a triangle there. And then you make one or two steps and essentially go into a next door room or one through it. So I went into the kitchen. Circle means I accomplished a mission there. You're trying to accomplish missions in places with different symbols to get more points. And then as I went along, you can go through a room. You can't go back on any of the rooms you've been through. When I got to the dining room, I decided that I was going to sabotage whatever Dave was getting up to, which means I put a square around it, put a square in the gym. I just went on a rampage of sabotage. Got myself into a corner. At that point, any point in the game on your turn, you can declare that you are going to have an extraction. So I say, I'm extracting from the main bedroom. Whoop, I can go anywhere. But I chose the office, which was a poor move because Andrew has figured me out very, very well. In fact, my notes are, Angie's following you, just in case I forgot. I did a mission in the office, which was promptly sabotaged. Moved my way through to the main WC, and then I finished in the garden. When I finished in the garden, Andrew is then trying to figure out where I am at the end of the game. I had no clue where Dave was. I thought he was in the game room, but he was off in the garden with me. Who knew? So the way that the game scores is really, really clever. I love the way the game scores. So you get points for each of the different unique icons that you went through. So I got 4 points for 4 circles and different things. And then if you successfully sabotage a mission, look how good I was at sabotaging Dave's missions. I got 2 of them, which is pretty good out of 4. And then you add 1 onto that, so you always get a little bit of points. That is then multiplied by your completed missions. So it is an incentive to be slightly aggressive in hunting down the other player. Not just knowing where they are at the end of the game, but hunting down the other player throughout the game. And then if you can track your target at the end of the game, then you get an extra 5 points if you're dead on, or 3 points if you are 1 room off. I had no clue where Dave was. I got 12 points in the end. I felt pretty good about myself. What did I think about this game? I just love it. It's so, so refreshing to have a right game, not a flip and right, not a roll and right, just a right.
A move and right. Maybe.
You just write. You just draw. I don't know. We moved our arms and we wrote. And it's really well packaged, really easy to to build, real easy to print. Now, you're supposed to use this as a, what do you call it? A screen. But, I mean, we just got some boxes from other games and I was hiding behind Drop It the entire time. Now, I think that this game is really easy for anyone to understand, really. Even if you're new to games, this is a game you can get on board with. Love the crisp graphic design. And it's also got a low colouring, low ink version as well. So if you don't like blowing all your hard-earned money on ink, you can just get this and then you can colour in whilst you're doing your goes as well. There is a little bit more to the game, but I don't want to talk about everything because I already kind of have.
I'm not brilliant at finding people. Hide and seek was never my thing as a kid, and realistically in games, it's not either. To be fair, I had a rough idea of where Ange was for at least some of the game. And at the end of the game, I'd kept one of probably the two, I would say, most powerful questions to keep to the end of the game. And I was able to use that to guarantee myself 3 points. I didn't get the 5 because I asked if he was in or next to a specific room. He said he was. So my best guess was to go with that one and he was next to it, not in it. So I only got 3 rather than possible 5 points. What I really, really liked, in the same way as James liked, but for a different reason, I liked the scoring mechanism. The multiplier was good. I didn't score well from it, but the fact that Dave didn't score well from it made that a real sweetener for me. Because Dave was on about how he knew where I was the whole time, but he couldn't, and followed me like a hawk around the board. But he didn't manage to sabotage any of my missions. I went the same. I did a similar thing. I had a pretty good idea of where Ange was and had been, so kind of sabotaged that whole area. But he sabotaged the room that I sabotaged rather than doing the mission in the room that I sabotaged. So I potentially, I got it right, but in the wrong place. Mm-hmm. It's like playing all the right notes in the wrong order type thing. Really liked it. Dead simple. Lots of fun and lots of banter at the table, actually, as you're trying to work out and trying to throw people with your answers a little bit. And basically, I think the one thing that James, I don't know if James did say, but there are 8 questions. You are allowed to ask each question once. So you've got a plan. And it's kind of from things like, are you in a specific quadrant? You have to say which row you're in, which column you're in. Have you been in this room? That kind of question to try and work out roughly where people are. So it's, you're using those questions to try and track people around the board. But I guess the bit we forgot to do was making sure that you're then, when you're tracking them, you're stopping in the rooms they've been in and sabotaging the ones that you think they've set a mission in. Didn't do that too well. Neither did Dave.
Ange, the bearded lady here is somebody who knew exactly what they were doing. Oh, yes. Was on James's case all the way through and sabotaging a lot of the things that he was putting in place, which was great. And yeah, Pete did a great job of sabotaging the same things that I was sabotaging at times. Really, really enjoyed the game. As James has already said, love the kind of the crispness of the design. Love the artwork. Each thing's got a different, or each player, Matt, has got a different character that you can use. Yeah, really, really enjoyed the game. And the banter that was around the table was brilliant. Us hairy game lords love a game that creates fun, creates the banter, creates the laughter, creates an opportunity to have a dig at Dave. And this game fulfilled that. Hey! And often, actually, what I find is a low point in a roll and write is the lack of banter that it creates around the table. This, oh yes. No Box Games, you've done a brilliant, brilliant job at creating not only a good game that can fit in for a kind of a gateway game, but also for around a gaming table, but also a game that there's lots of involvement around the table. Those questions are brilliant to ask at certain times, and you've got to try and work out, is this a good question to ask now? Just a lot of enjoyment from a sheet of paper. Good times. enjoyed this, check this out and get involved. Do it.
Hi, Dave Gray.
Oh, Dave!
Salty tears wiped. So, I'll be perfectly honest with you here. I despise roll and rights and flip and right with a passion that you can only dream of. So, in all honesty, when James walked in late to this games night and went, "Oh, I've got a new game. It's a writing game," I was like, "Oh, great! Glad I got out of bed for this." Because they don't have interactivity, which, as Ange says, is what we live and breathe, and they don't really have gameplay either. So for me, it's a bit of a why am I bothering? This, however, has both interactivity and a hell of a lot of gameplay for a piece of paper. The 8 questions that you ask once actually make you really, really think. And I'll be honest, I knew where Pete was pretty much all of the way through.
Dave, you never mentioned that.
Sat next to you.
I had him pretty much down from turn 1, and I think, yeah, I tracked him round there. There were 2 rooms that he'd moved twice into, but then I caught back up with him. And yeah, just the interactivity of James was following me, I was following Pete, don't care about Ange anyway, was absolutely awesome. And yeah, tons of banter, tons of like giving it a bit of that. Can't fault it. The only thing I'm not a fan of, hence like, is the point scoring. So, did really well on the missions. Knew exactly where Pete was. 5 points for that. My sabotaging, everyone that I sabotaged, Pete hadn't actually stopped at, even though he'd gone
He didn't know
through
where I
it.
was very well then, did he? He said he knew where I was. Clearly not well enough.
Wandering behind. 5 points, Pete. 5 points. So, I beat Pete because obviously who doesn't beat Pete?
How much
But
time?
yeah, 1 point.
1 point.
However, if you just add the points up, I won. So that's how we're going to do it from now on. Winner!
No. Did you get above 10, Dave?
I won.
Did you get above 10?
That's all. That's it. I'll add them up. I won. So that's me winning on 3 counts.
There we go.
Apart from the actual rules bit, but 3 out of 4 ain't bad. So yeah, get involved, print it out, give it a go. It's proper good. Ignore the and right thing. It is actually a really good game.
The winner is decided by having the name Dave. I would have won.
I feel that is a reasonable rule to put in any game.
Oh, man. Where's the camera?
Yeah, it's a difficult one, isn't it? I was.
There.
Yeah.
Is
Well,
that 'cause you
it's
put
where
it
the light
upside
is.
down?
It's the upside. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I'm looking all over the place.
I know. When I did it, I was like, "Flip!"
Put it upside down.
It proper puts you off.
Okay, so I'm looking at that now.
The green light.
Look at the green light.
It's not the green light.
Look at
It's
the
above.
Just
the,
here.
it's the one above the green light.
Way!
Not that Pete cares where the camera is.
Right on the end of my finger.